should probably say, hello, Coldwell Banker. Marcus, it's always great to see you. I see you at every IBC. I see you all the time, and a great way to kick off and give a whole lot of enthusiasm to this meeting. And I love the beach balls. Whose idea was that, Rick? Is that your idea for the beach balls? That was a great idea. Anybody that's Boston Red Sox fans, I used to live in Boston for a few years of my Coldwell Banker career, and that's what they do out in the bleachers. Of course, they can't beat the Yankees, so I guess that's what they want to do. I've already made some enemies, I'm sure. I just want to thank you for inviting me. Rick has already given the due applause. Mark, honored Rick, I just want to thank you for inviting me. I want to thank everybody. I feel actually part of this group. I mean, you guys have made me feel so comfortable last night, everybody coming up and saying all sorts of nice things, and I really do appreciate it. And the Habitat Run and Walk, I had to walk this morning because I had back surgery about 6 months ago, so my running days are over. But Rayanne, I forgot to give you my check. How much money did we...
We got $820.
You have $920. Interest since I didn't bring my $10 down at 7 this morning. God, I showed up at 7 this morning. I thought, God, no one showed up. And Rick was there waiting for me. And he said, well, everybody's already out there. So you guys that walked and ran, you were there like at 6:30. So I thought, oh my God, what's going on here? All right. I have to take my glasses off to read my notes. Unlike most people, have to put their glasses on to read their notes. I just want to share with you a couple things, just one or two little quick housekeeping items. One is a lot of people ask me about the Global Summit, which, as Dorcas said, is in Nashville on October 10th through the 13th. Our goal is to have all the registration information up on the internet on Coldwell Banker Works next month. And also I was asked last night about early discount. What we're going to do this year to, as far as the early discount, if you register, and again, you can't do this till April, but if you register for a hotel room by the end of June, you will have a 10% discount on the on what the registration fee is, which I still don't know what it is. We're still trying to figure out what it is because this is kind of a new thing for us. And if you register, get a hotel room by July 31st, then you will have a 5% discount for the Global Summit in Nashville. And again, that's October 10th through the 13th. I just want to start out by saying, the industry's hurting a little bit, and I'm going to talk mostly about the industry, but Coldwell Banker, we continue to excel, as Dorcas says. I mean, we're still over 100,000 sales associates, we're way over 3,000 offices. We had a fantastic year last year. A couple things that I want to share, and Mike Fisher is going to follow me and give you all sorts of great things that his department's doing with marketing. But there are two things I think that each one of you have contributed to along with the other 100,000 sales associates. And one is the fact that Coldwell Banker was honored by J.D. Power and Associates as the number one company as far as seller satisfaction for last year. And last year was not an easy year for sellers. So give yourselves a round of applause. That's your award. That all of you guys have helped to create is the Wall Street Journal, which is international. There's readers all over the country and around the world. The Wall Street Journal did a survey of all of their readers about 2 months ago, and they asked their readers, what real estate company would you work with? What real estate company is the tops as far as you're concerned? And we came out a very strong number one. So again, give yourselves a round of applause. Let's talk about the industry. Let's talk about what we're facing this year as far as real estate. I like to say that, the one bad thing about really good markets is that they end. But the really good thing about bad markets is the same thing. They end. This bad market will end. Trust me. This real estate depression, so to speak, will end, and hopefully with the tax credit. Hopefully the tax credit is going to give us the momentum so that after April 30th, we will continue to see strong results in real estate, which we know will result in strong results for our economy. And real estate, hopefully will do the same thing that it's done every time since World War II, which is lead us out of an economic downturn or lead us out of a recession. And we should all be proud of what we did along with Realogy for extending and expanding the tax credit. Dorcas mentioned Richard Smith, who's the chairman and CEO of Realogy. He's our big boss. He literally was in Washington, D.C. every single week last year, working with senators and representatives in the White House and working very closely with Senator Johnny Isakson, a Republican from the state of Georgia, who, by the way, is the only realtor in the history of the Senate. And Johnny Isakson was very, very influential in getting this tax credit extended and expanded. But we did our part also. Last May, during Memorial Day week, when all of the senators and representatives take that week off, we organized what we called Coldwell Banker Legislative Week. And we asked each one of you that either knew or had the ability to contact your representatives when they were home that week, to call, to set up appointments, to email, to let them know how important the tax credit is, not only to the real estate industry, but more importantly, to the economy and the health of our country. And it worked to a charm. And I did my little part. Every time I was on TV, literally from September of '08 through November of last year when we got it extended, I talked about the tax credit. And it's amazing, you know, there's side benefits which are a lot of positive, you know, results from the press. But the press ate up the fact that we had Coldwell Banker Legislative Week. They just loved it. And I was interviewed in Washington, D.C. twice live on television, and multiple newspapers and interviewed me, magazines interviewed me. I was able to meet that first time in D.C. with 7 members of the House of Representatives and 4 members of the Senate. And I want to tell you, it wasn't Jim Gillespie, it was Coldwell Banker, and it was contacts that our brokers throughout the country had with their representatives that got me in to see that many members of the House and that many members of the Senate. I originally was going to be in Washington, D.C. one day, and because of all of you and your counterparts across the country, I spent 3 full days in Washington, D.C. And they must have liked my message. I knew I had a good message because the very first meeting I had was with a Wall Street Journal editorial writer. And we had a luncheon. We took the train down there and had a lunch on Monday afternoon, and the guy started out the lunch by saying, "I know why you're here, Mr. Gillespie, but I'm not in favor of extending or expanding the tax credit." And I said, "Well, just listen to what I have to say." And after a 1-hour lunch, he not only was in favor of the tax credit and expansion, he said, "If you can get that in, my wife and I, we've been thinking about moving up. We're going to buy it." I said, "That's exactly my point. You're going to help the economy." But I want to play, the press just loved it. I want to play just a real short clip the week before I went to Washington, D.C. So as soon as you can get that rolling, just punch the tape. Really short TV clip.